Hello everyone, my name is Sophie No Sleep, and today we're going to be talking about a subject that has caught my interest for quite some time now, and that is this fandom's immense hatred for Gingerbrave. Let me give the obligatory reminder to who Gingerbrave is. Gingerbrave is the mascot of the Cookie Run franchise, and the protagonist to every of their games. Character-wise, he's a 13-year-old kid who's brave, kind-hearted, and always up to helping others, which, personally, I think those are, really nice qualities for a main character, but apparently that's not enough for the fandom. So I got curious, and I asked myself, why do so many people hate this little guy? So I took it upon myself to ask that same question on Twitter, and the answers were pretty interesting. I also got a lot of replies to it, so after reading all of the replies, I was able to boil down the community's problems with Gingerbrave to these three categories: character design, personality, and his role in the story. So let's start with the first point: character design. A lot of people hate Gingerbrave's character design because it's way too simple compared to everybody else's design in the game, and they also hate the fact that he's a common, which this is the only point I honestly have to disagree with, because I don't think there's anything bad in the simplicity in design. Honestly, I kind of think that's the point, because the point of Gingerbrave is that he's a cookie that came to life. He's a simple cookie that gained sentience. He's literally your typical gingerbread cookie. I think his design also points out more how the fact that Gingerbrave out of all cookies is, a cookie that's not actually supposed to be alive, because again, he is decorated as your typical gingerbread cookie. Out of all the characters, this is the one that was made to be eaten. But he didn't. He didn't get eaten. He became alive and decided to carve a life of his own. So, while I can understand why people may not like his simple design, I personally think that's what gives charm to Gingerbrave. That's what makes him special, because he's not supposed to be alive, At least that's how I see it. Now, as for the common rarity, I think that's kind of the point too. Gingerbrave is your typical gingerbread cookie. Something that is pretty common around the world, so I really don't think that he fits any other rarity. Also, I don't think he's meant to be the strongest cookie, but I think people forget that strength comes in many different ways, You don't have to be physically strong all the time, Gingerbrave is strong in his own ways, but he doesn't have to be physically strong to be a valid character, Also, fellas, did we forget that this is a gacha game? Do you really think they're gonna give you an overpowered character from the start? Nah, bro. They gotta get you gambling. They gotta give you a shit character so you can start gambling! Let's move on to the second reason why people don't like Gingerbrave, and that being his personality. A lot of people don't like Gingerbrave because they find his upbeat, go-getter personality very annoying, and honestly, can't really blame them. That type of person, that type of character has been used throughout many areas of media. It's essentially an overused character trope, which can annoy a lot of people. Another reason people don't really like Gingerbrave is because, unlike other characters, Gingerbrave doesn't really change much. He doesn't go through a character arc and such, and so people find him very boring. Now, in defense of Gingerbrave, I personally don't think he needs to go through this overarching character development in order to be interesting, I personally think that by himself, with his simplicity, he's completely fine. And also, his positive personality, at least in Kingdom, I don't remember much of Break, but in Cookie Run Kingdom, his positive personalities has helped many cookies with their struggles and such. Example, the Ancients. However, as much as I, can try to defend Gingerbrave here, his personality is also a part of a major problem within the Cookie Run narrative, and it's essentially the third reason why people don't really like Gingerbrave, in which honestly they're kind of right here, and that third reason is Gingerbrave's role in the story. Alright, let's point out the obvious out of the way. Gingerbrave is a static character. Now, if you don't know what a static character is, let me read you the Google definition. A static character is a literary or dramatic character who undergoes little or no interchange. Now, the choice of making Gingerbrave a static character is intentional because Gingerbrave is supposed to be your POV character. What I mean is, every time in every alteration in the game, he's always a freshly baked cookie, which is supposed to represent how new players, are in the game. He learns the same way we do. We see the world through his eyes. So that's why he has little to no change, because like he's essentially supposed to represent us, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Let me remind you all, that's not a bad thing, but, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's understandable. However, there's also another thing that the writers do with Gingerbrave, which I think it's, like, the main, like, issue with everyone, and that is the Steven Universe problem. Now, I dub this problem the Steven Universe problem because this is something that's very prevalent in that show, but essentially, like, it feels like Gingerbrave has to be present in the main lore at all times for everything to happen. Essentially, in Steven Universe, everything in the show is seen through Steven. Like everything is Steven centric. Well, in Cookie Run, at least in the main story, everything feels like Gingerbrave has to be shoehorned in there because he's the main protagonist, and that is annoying. And at some points, detrimental to the plot, because sometimes there are some situations that are better served for other characters than Gingerbrave. Essentially, Gingerbrave is a plot tool. Okay, we see the world through his eyes, and he is the character that is that gets the plot going. However, this utility, this usefulness of him comes in the detriment of other characters, because again, sometimes Gingerbrave literally does not have to be here, but he's forced to be there because he's the protagonist. He represents us. And I think this, like, forcefulness, there's a better word for that, damn, but you get what I mean. I think this, like, forced inclusion, there we go, this forced inclusion of Gingerbrave being in there, present for every moment, is essentially, like, the main reason why people don't like him. In conclusion, Gingerbrave is a very simple character, and by his own, he's completely fine. However, his forceful inclusion into the story can lead to a detriment to other characters and himself, because just because he's the main protagonist doesn't mean he has to be present to absolutely everything, especially like in the main story. He doesn't have to be the main problem solver. Sometimes those roles can be handed off to other characters within the story, and unfortunately, since Gingerbrave is the plot tool here, that role is taken away from those important characters and given to him. So I think that's like the main reason why people hate Gingerbrave. Kind of unfair, but understandable to where they're coming from. And that's it. That's this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys liked my point of view, or at least I tried to, like, be, like, the middleman here, I try to, like, defend Gingerbrave here, but, like, I hope you guys liked my points. If you guys still hate Gingerbrave, that's completely fine. If you don't, that's completely fine, too, there's nothing wrong in disliking a character. I just wanted to, like, talk about this subject and just explore why there was such a mass hatred on him. And I hope I bring a point of view that may change the way you feel, the way you see things, or the narrative, or whatever. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you liked the video. Tell me everything you think about it below. Please like, share, please. I need more views on my channel. And yeah, this has been Sophie No Sleep. Bye.
Twoje na głowie mam, kok sobie źle, lecieć sam w krainę zapomnienia. W głowie myśli mam, kiedy skończy się ten stan, już nie będę sam, bo wiedzie biały